This year marks 10 years of our FIRE journey. We started in June 2014. We're now up to June 2024. Let's see what we did over those 10 years to go from where we were to where we are now. Check it out. Yep, 10 years. It's a long time. 10 years of this particular FIRE journey, financial independence, retire early, that we've been striving for to change our life. So prior to 10 years ago, I was in a job which I pretty much hated. I was a lowly paid contractor earning 60,000 New Zealand dollars a year, before tax, I might add, and that was pretty much our household income, 60,000 New Zealand dollars a year, roughly about 40,000 US dollars a year. Yeah, wasn't pretty. And not only was I a lowly paid contractor, I had to walk from the train station to my place of employment, probably about 2 or 3 kilometres, in $30 shoes. Could have caught a bus, but we really had no money. We were overdrawn. We had no money in the bank. Things were grim. And not only were things grim, but I got paid on the last Friday of the last day of the following month. So you'd work all of one month and you get paid on the last Friday of the following month. And when you got no money, things are pretty tight. Even though the job wasn't enjoyable, I was able to upskill during the job to try and increase my skill level. Fortunately, I was able to get a better paying job, 83,000 New Zealand dollars, all the benefits, sick days, holidays, wow, superannuation, all that sort of stuff, public holidays, you name it. Oh, good stuff. $23,000 more and closer to the train station and transport links, saving a little bit more money. And instead of being a temporary employee, it was full-time employment, permanent full-time employment. Now we were in the position of having a completely fresh start. Yes, we had a lot of bills, we had a lot of debt. We'll take you through some of those debts. We had a better income, we had a new start, closer to transport. There was a few good things happening there, plus regular pay, more pay, all the holidays, all the benefits. We decided to embark on the FIRE journey. After a bit over 4 decades of pretty much having no money, it was time for a change. And that's how we started. We got together and we decided to come up with a plan. So I just got this new job. Fantastic. The first thing we did was swap banks. We were with ANZ Bank for our home loan. We owed $156,000 at the time on the home loan. We switched to Kiwi Bank, which ended up saving a lot of money. They gave us a little bit of cash towards the mortgage. We had to pay no fees to swap over. It was a much better interest rate as well. It was a win-win situation. They also allowed us to swap our credit card over. We went with a Kiwi Bank credit card. No annual fees, no interest for the first 6 months. We transferred the balance that we had because, yeah, let's face it, we weren't good with money at the time. That's what we did. Ended up saving more money. They also provided a $2,000 overdraft, which didn't cost a cent until you used it. Did have to use it a couple of times moving forward after that, but that was okay. And we'd also decided of taking advantage of their low interest energy home loan, which allowed us to get a 3 kilowatt solar system on the roof. Kiwi Bank put $2,000 towards that over the space of 4 years. We did have to pay a little bit of interest on it, but we pretty much got it. It was all tied up with the mortgage money and all the rest of it. So it didn't really cost us anything. It was pretty much break even. You can see a video about that over here. And now we were set. It was time to move forward. We had better money. We had a solar system. We'd changed banks. We'd got a lower interest rate. Time to do a budget. That's the first thing we needed to do. So we started off in June 2014 when I got this job, which paid more obviously. And we move on to November till we put our actual first proper budget in place. And let's go and have a look at these numbers. At the time, we owed $156,000 on the house, we owed $11,000 on the solar loan, and we had other debt of $6,500. All up, we owed $173,000. Putting an asset value on the house, taking away all of our liabilities and mortgages and loans and all the rest of it, our net worth at the time, November 2014, was $86,000. We did, however, have $14,000 in retirement savings, which is sort of included in the mix. So this is going back almost 10 years ago now. And as we continued our budgeting process, the process now was to do the budget on the first of every month to at least keep it consistent so we could track what our net worth was, track where we were, and carry on from there. Moving on to the 1st of January 2015, and we owed $153,000 on the house, $10,700 on the solar loan, with total liabilities all up of $165,000, approximately. At the early stages, it was really just survival mode, just paying out what we had to pay in terms of our debts. We still had no money in the bank, but that's the way it was. We just had to figure out how much we could actually afford, how much we had, how much, how much our expenses were, really. After so long of mismanaging money, it was really the time that the chickens came home to roost. We didn't really have a clue of what we were going to achieve, but we were on the right path. During the following 12 months, we were able to reduce the mortgage significantly, another $20,000, because we had the money. And that's exactly what we did. We were able to pay over and above what we had to pay on the mortgage, reducing the balance, reducing the term as well when we could. Interest rates are what they are when you've got them. That's all there is to it. So we reduced our home loan down to $130,000. The solar loan had dropped down to $8,500. And at this point, our liabilities were $138,000. House price, yes, I think it pretty much crept up a little bit, but nothing too extravagant at the time. Getting out of debt was pretty much the main focus of these early stages of our FIRE journey, just getting rid of the debt. Didn't have a lot of money in the bank. We probably only had $1,000, up to $1,000 at times. Sometimes it was literally only $100 or $200 after each pay, but yeah, that's what it was. But fortunately, we had paid the credit card off, so we could always draw on that money if we really, really desperately needed to. Moving on to 2017, I can't quite remember if we'd changed our home loan terms and conditions. We did as we went along. The more money that we freed up, we were able to lower the term, potentially shorten the duration. Originally, it started off at 15 years. We'll get to how long it actually took to pay the whole thing off a bit further on in the video. Home loan was $96,000. The solar loan was $7,000. We had a little bit of other debt that we'd accumulated, another $7,000 when we changed the way we report things. And at the end of it, at the start of 2017, our total liabilities were $110,000. Moving on to the start of 2018, the 1st of January 2018, we'd been going for 3.5 years at this stage. Our home loan was down to $71,000. Our solar loan was down to $2,000. And our total liabilities were $73,000. In April of that year, we started our first ever sharesies investment, investing into the New Zealand stock market. Started with $25, and that's what we continued for quite a wee while until we realised exactly how much we could afford. So $25, was it every fortnight? Can't quite remember actually. It might have been $50 a fortnight. That's what we could afford at the time, and that's how we started. We also created an account with Invest Now for myself. And I also set up a Heartland Bank emergency fund that at the time was paying 2.75% before tax, which we started with $100 just to kick it off. Moving on to 2019, on the 1st of January 2019, our home loan was finally down to $33,000. Pretty remarkable effort. The solar loan was now actually paid off. That meant our total liabilities were $33,000, just about at the end of the tunnel, and we'd started investing a little bit of money. We were up to $24,000 worth of total investments. Now was the time to kick off our superannuation plans, because at this stage we hadn't bothered funding it because we simply couldn't afford it. Our primary focus was getting rid of the debt, but because we owed less than $33,000 at the time, it was time to kickstart SSRSS, which I was involved with, just snuck in at the end of it, State Services Retirement Savings Scheme. That's a mouthful. So we kicked that off. It offers a 3% match at the time, and it still does. And then we also kicked off my KiwiSaver, and a little bit later, a couple of months later, we kicked off Denise's KiwiSaver. So we had 3 pension schemes, and we also set up an Invest Now account primarily for ETFs for Denise as well, and we just slowly funded that as well. Moving on to the 1st of January 2020, and we'd pretty much paid off our mortgage. It took 5.5 years of hard slog, pretty much every spare dollar. We had side hustles along the way. I was selling certain things. We sold stuff that we didn't need. We were doing anything, any little part-time jobs, anything we could get some more money just to pay off the debt, because at the end of the day, every little bit counted. Literally the week of paying off the mortgage, Denise had a dental bill which cost $5,000, so we were back into debt again. But fortunately, that didn't last long before we'd paid that off as well. And now at this point, our total investments had ballooned up to $48,000. So things were on the up. On the 1st of January 2021, completely out of debt, all our mortgage money was now going into investments pretty much. So we had set amounts that we were putting into investments every week or every payday, every fortnight, and that's the way we continued to roll all throughout 2021. We also started Denise's Sharesies account in 2021. That's our Road to 100k series, which you can check out here. And that's when we started dedicating $500 a week. Yeah, $500 a week, $1,000 a fortnight into Denise's Sharesies, with little bits of money on all our other investments that we have. And the reason why we put money into Denise's Sharesies, or we decided to at the time, is because she's on a lower tax bracket, so it makes more sense to be investing into something that you're paying less tax on. And at this point in time, we now had $118,000 at the start of January 2021. Moving on to the 1st of January 2022, and believe it or not, our investments grew yet again. We grew from 118,000 up to 177,000 worth of investments with a fully paid off house. Now, unfortunately, I think this was the start of COVID. House prices were booming, or the middle of COVID, I can't really remember now. It's a bit of a blur, but house prices were booming. And our mansion, let's call it a mansion, it's not really a mansion, but we'll call it a mansion, was supposedly worth $860,000. So combine that with our actual investments, and we were technically net worth millionaires.
$1 million.
But unfortunately, this didn't last long. So pretty much as soon as we were millionaires, literally the next month we weren't again, and then we were again, and then we weren't again, and we still haven't been millionaires since. 2022 was pretty much a rotten investing year. We actually only gained another $22,000. We probably put around $40 to $50,000 in, but yeah, we lost probably around $26,000. Our investments just went down along with everyone else's, so we weren't alone in that scenario. Fortunately, we still actually did put $22,000 overall, so we're up to $199,000 at the start of 2023. January the 1st, 2023, couple of $100,000. Fortunately, the market did rebound somewhat in 2023, so by the 1st of January 2024, we were up to $286,000 worth of investments. This meant we'd actually made $87,000 on the full calendar year. And finally, fast forwarding into June 2024, halfway through the year, our investments are worth approximately $311,000, and our house has dropped from those heady heights down to $675,000. That makes an approximate total of $988,000, which is our current net worth. This is pretty good considering 10 years ago our net worth was $86,000. We've just done the hard work and now it's pretty much 10 times that. Well, in fact, it's over 10 times that now.
$1 million.
And hopefully once we do reach $1 million, we're not going to have the same volatility that we've had before. We'll just carry on investing as we have done in the past. As you can see, the bulk of our investments are still in the house. We've got a long way to go before we get to where we want to get to. 311,000 of investments. If we can get a 4% return, which is what we're aiming for, we want to be able to cover approximately $25,000 of our expenses, which currently covers our living costs. You can find out more about our living costs here. This is pretty much a bare bones basic budget. Technically, if we can get to that mark, then we don't necessarily have to work. And that would be a great milestone to get to. It doesn't mean we're not going to work. It just means we would have the option of maybe not working. Maybe we could just work part-time, get a different job. Maybe we could carry on working full-time. Maybe we could just stop working altogether. And if you can invest enough and get enough return on investment off that income that covers your costs, you've pretty much made it. What we haven't factored into this mix that we've got here now is any sort of New Zealand superannuation pension type arrangements. If we hit 65, we're entitled to the New Zealand pension. It's not means tested in any way, shape or form. For a couple, this means we're pretty much going to get about $350 after tax each in the hand. Yeah, there are a few variations on the amount that you get paid on that. If we can cover our costs, if we can get up to $630,000 worth of investments, which is still a long way away, it's still another $319,000 away. Whew. And then eventually we get to 65 and we get this bonus money, $700 a week for a couple. If we've already got our expenses covered and we get an extra $700, do you know what that means? That means we're rich. We really have no desire to be rich. We just want to be comfortable and in control of our own financial destiny. So we're 10 years in, 5 years to go to get to pretty much where we want to get to. If we get there and it's taken 15 years, is it worth it? Well, in our case, it certainly is. Can you ask yourself, is it worth it? Would you be willing to sacrifice 15 years to get to this point like we potentially will? Well, we will. Let's face it, we will. And if you ask me, would I do it again? Yep, absolutely. I would definitely do it again. Hopefully I'd be a bit younger when I did it next time. I wish I knew this stuff when I was maybe 20 or even 30. That would have been a bonus. Could have given myself a great head start. Probably be retired right now, sitting on a beach somewhere, sipping those drinks with the umbrellas coming out. But it wasn't to be. But I'm still glad we've done it. Who knows what the market will do in the future? We've got absolutely no control over it. I'm still glad we've done what we've done. It's a good place to be in, having no debt and actually having some money behind you. And that's certainly a better place than renting somewhere and having absolutely no money in the bank. So I just encourage you, take a leaf out of our book. You don't have to do it exactly the way we've done it. 15 years is our personal timeline. Why don't you work it out for yourself? See how long it might take you to reach financial independence. At the end of the day, it's going to be in your best interest. I guarantee it. This has been our story. It's still an unfinished story. We've got at least 5 years to go. We're going to get to the end of our Road to 100K series. I can't wait for that. What will we do after that? Well, we might even have a little break. Maybe we'll have a break for a year and stop investing and actually enjoy some of our money. I'm not going to go crazy, that's for sure, but we could maybe go on a holiday. That'll be a novel treat. And if you've made it this far, thanks for sticking around. Really appreciate it. Hopefully this has given you some food for thought. What can we do in the next 10 years, maybe 15 years, even the next 5 years? The world is your oyster. Make it happen. No one's going to make it happen for you. The government certainly isn't going to make it happen for you. You've got to make the decision for yourself. Thanks for sticking around. Catch you later. Bye-bye.